Hi everyone, welcome back to Valley View Flower Farm. It's been a while since we've done a video and I thought I'd get on here quickly and show you what's been happening. So we haven't been on a holiday or anything, we've been here fixing up the garden. So in about a week we've got some garden clubs coming to visit the garden and have a look at the flower farm. So I thought I'd take you on a quick tour, but before we do that I better go let these ducks out, otherwise they'll quack the whole time we're on. All right, so we've got Bathurst Garden Club and Oberon Garden Club and another garden group coming out all in October. Now the ducks are going to follow us. So we've been busy getting the garden ready and cutting back all the shrubs and just mulching. So part of the issue with the garden and why it's taken me so long to get back onto YouTube and do some videos is that we haven't done any work in this garden for a good 3 years. So as soon as we started the flower farm, we sort of neglected our main garden and put all our efforts into the flower farm. So this is so there's been a lot of hard work in order to get this garden back to where it used to be. And I'll put some pictures up and show you a bit of before and after. So there's still quite a bit of work to be done in the garden. And it's a bit of a mad race in order to get things mulched and weeded and cleaned up. And what we normally use for mulch is lucerne. And because it's been such a dry winter and autumn, the lucerne has been hard to come by. So I've also had to use some wood chip as well as a mulch, which is not my preference, but it's just what we have to deal with at the moment. So spring is also probably 2 weeks later than what it normally is. We would normally have more flowers out at the moment than we do. So I'm not sure if that's because the spring has been so dry or because it wasn't an overly cold winter. In cutting back a lot of the shrubs, we've opened up some empty spaces that obviously need to be filled with perennials later on. And we also need to see whether a lot of these perennials are going to come back. Like the buddleias, some of them may not come back after such a severe pruning because they were quite large to begin with. So this is our fire pit area down here. And Mike and I, we made these steps just from rocks that were dug up during the building of the house. And all these rocks are all off the farm. So anywhere we need to put in a new track for accessibility on the farm, if there was rocks in the way, we'd bring them up and use them in the garden. So you'll see there's piles of stuff on the ground and I've just got to come back in and pick all them up after raking the gravel. So normally this garden here would be flanked by 2 big buddleias that have been drastically cut back. This one looks like it's going to come back and this one looks like it's dead. So I'll have to take this out. So I'll lose the symmetrical look of these 2 buddleias and I'll have to replace this with something. So in the garden we have a lot of stuff that we've salvaged off the farm. Michael's family have been on the property since 1865. So we have stuff like this, which is old wagon wheels, cast iron wagon wheels that we find, and then we try and use them in the garden. So there's still a little bit of area here to clean up. So this section here is the bath garden, and these are pears here which are flowering at the moment. This garden is mainly built around the bathtub, which has a copper coil, and you can heat that up, which heats the water in the bath. So my garden is just a typical country garden. We don't irrigate the gardens, they're just rely on natural rainfall. So any of the plants that have been put in are all Mediterranean style drought tolerant plants that need to survive in our harsh climate. So if getting this garden ready wasn't enough, we also are opening the flower farm for a U-pick around the same time. So it's been a lot of work to get this in order, plus the flower farm in order. And this would have to be my favourite tree in the whole garden. And this was a gift from a neighbour who just took a cutting from theirs, and it's just a weeping willow. There's nothing special about it other than it just is beautiful all year round, and it just provides such a nice sculpture in the trunk and provides a little bit of shade in summer, which is appreciated. So this garden is a work in progress. I won't show you too much of that. We still have to weed and mulch that section, so constant battle. This is Bill. He always likes to follow. And Scrappy. I'll do a separate tour of the flower farm, and I'll give you an updated look at the garden when the garden clubs come. That'll keep me accountable, make sure I get everything done that I need to get done. We have a really nice ornamental grape on the house that provides really valuable shading in the summer. This is the veggie garden. We have apples along the front, and they're just starting to come out in bud. And then a Montana clematis along the fence here. And I've got another Montana clematis on the other side too that's only just put that in. So all raised beds in here. I don't grow a lot of spring and winter veg. We've got some broccolini, you can see here, and some peas in this bed. I do have a lot of perennial vegetables that I just leave in. So thyme is probably the herb that I use the most. And these are perennial leeks. So I just leave these in here and these just come back. And they're not huge, they don't provide a huge leek, but they do provide a small leek, which is quite nice if you fry them up. And they're nice added to soups and things. Some lettuce and asparagus, which is just starting. We've eaten quite a bit of asparagus. And the spears are just coming up now. I do have a big problem with stinging nettles in the garden. So that's a bit of a constant battle. Scrappy, get off the garden bed. Scrappy. Scrappy. Come on, off. Good girl. The other perennial veg that we have is obviously rhubarb. Normally I would have been picking viburnum by now, but it's not even out in flower yet. Still weeding and tidying up. This is my kids' collection of skulls. The skull garden. There's a pig skull there. Cockatoos, they'll just come through and just completely deadhead all the tulips and daffodils. They're a pain. So this is a newer section. So the idea for the U-pick is people will park out here and they will come in this way. I have some signage, I'll do another video. I have some signage, it's in the shed. There's going to be a signpost here and a few other bits and pieces. But the idea is they'll come in this way, and obviously it's still got a lot of tidying up and work to do, but this is the main, garden is everything planted in here is stuff that can be picked. And I just wanted to soften the area around this power pole. It's a bit of an eyesore. I'll give you a full tour of this one when we do the flower farm. So these are Floribunda roses, the apricot Floribunda roses down the side here. Excuse the buckets and the bits and pieces because we're still weeding and tidying up. And this section we've used a lot of bark chip. We need to use a lot of mulch in the garden because I don't water. So they're really important, not just in weed suppression, but also in keeping the moisture in the garden. Got a big load of gravel there. We need to re-gravel some sections. These are pink Floribunda roses up this pathway. This pathway is usually filled with bulbs that they've just finished, and the bluebells are just going to start soon. This area is a work in progress. That's the framework there is for a shed we're looking to build. So a little garden shed where we can display all our old farm memorabilia. We have old sheep and cattle brands and, you know, farm implements that go back for generations that we'd like to keep, but also like to display. This section here is a dry creek bed. We obviously you can see that the garden has quite a bit of slope, so this channels the water away, sort of in a way that sort of holds onto it there underneath that willow, without causing too much disruption to the garden. The ducks are doing a great job down there. They're always in the garden looking for insects. This massive tree is a yellow box, and we've got 3 nesting magpie families in this tree. They don't swoop us. They may swoop other people because they're raising their young at the moment, and they're very, very busy flying around and getting worms, and they're actually wonderful to have in the garden. We really enjoy having them. I'll see if I can get a zoom in on one of the nests. I'm not sure if you can see, but there's one of the magpie nests there now. So there you have it. Just a quick video, I know, just to show you where we're at and what we've been doing quietly in the background in readiness for these garden club groups to come and visit. It's been hectic, to say the least, and trying to fit it all in with a full-time job and family and all the rest of it is quite difficult. So I just wanted to show you, and I'll do a updated video later on of where we get up to with the garden, as well as an update on the flower farm. So thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. Bye.